everyone. My name is Michael Doise, and I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida, with Taylor Arndt. Hi, Taylor.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, and this is an iACast update for the ACB convention. We had our first real day of convention. It's not the first day of convention, but it's our first day. And we have some thoughts. We went to the exhibit hall and got to try out some new technologies. And there's two in particular that I want to mention today. And one of them is start with WeWalk. And I want to get Taylor's view on this first, and then I'll give my thoughts. So, Taylor, what were your thoughts on the WeWalk device? Well, first, what is it?
Okay, I was going to say, Michael, we got to explain what WeWalk is. WeWalk is a smart cane that will allow you to navigate to different places based on Google Maps and other mapping technologies that are on the cane itself. So imagine like a regular cane that you see, like I've got one in this room somewhere, probably, by the door, like it should be. And then, that cane is great, but then like this other smart cane literally has buttons and things to control like the volume and, selection. It's almost like one of those joysticks, if you've ever seen those. So it has 4 buttons, and for the life of me, I can't remember what they do. And basically, you can explore around you, basically where you walk freely, and then it shows you if there's obstacles. Now, when there is obstacles, because remember, it's a smart cane, it will kind of vibrate and kind of shake, almost like the other device did, which I won't explain in a minute. But it will kind of shake and be like, okay, you got to go off to the right and left. But to be completely honest, I was not a fan of that whole deal. So basically, I didn't get a huge demo because the booth was full, but the retail price is going to be $700. Now, this is for ACB, I assume, and NFB convention attendees, and the new WeWalk cane is not on the market just yet, so unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till October, so I'd start saving your pennies now if you're interested. But you're going to
won't be on sale then.
Huh?
It will not be on sale then.
It will actually be on sale then for ACB and NFB attendees because you will be emailed a coupon code that you can redeem at checkout.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. So if y'all are at ACB or on NFB in Orlando and you have any questions or you're just on, virtual, I'll do my best to answer them, but I would probably recommend that you go talk to WeWalk directly if you have that opportunity. And I will say that the cane is very light, so that's a good thing. It felt like actually pretty much lighter than my cane, actually.
Well, it's an Ambutech graphite cane.
It's graphite. Mine is aluminum.
Right.
So it's very light, but the thing is that, I need a cane really bad. The thing is, mine's falling apart. But I will not spend $700 just to get a replacement cane. I can go get one for about $40.
And use your phone to do the same thing.
Yes. So my question is, for y'all on Mastodon, y'all in the virtual space, why would you get one of these canes? Now, I understand the argument, if I'm playing devil's advocate here, if I may, Michael, that the cane could actually help you to not have to get out your smartphone, especially if you're trying to use gloves and things in the winter. Okay, yes, but I live in Texas, so, I'm sorry, but that's not really a thing I can do.
The point is that you can get the turn-by-turn directions and all of those things on the cane. It has a speaker, it has haptics, it has all those things. I just feel like it's a little bit much for a cane. I understand the one device fits all kind of modality there, but I don't know. I feel like it's a cane plus.
Well, Michael, I'm sorry. I really agree with that, but the thing is, what I was saying earlier is that I was actually talking to people at the booth and we were having a conversation. And one of the things was that I asked them, I said, so why are you interested in this device? And a lot of them are like, well, because I in a colder climate and I live in winter, blah, 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 and I could control with gloves. Great, fair argument. I used to live in Michigan, so I can totally, understand that. However, the other thing that they also mentioned, which I can kind of agree with, but to a degree I think it'd be more complicated for that population, is senior citizens. Yes, they may not have smartphones, or they may have very limited phones that may not be able to do everything, okay, great, I can kind of understand it. But the thing is, when I looked at the device, it was not that user efficient or, usable. Sorry, that's not the right word. It was not, not very user centric.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very complicated. There were a lot of buttons you had to remember, a lot of gestures. In a sense, like you had to press this button, and this button, and this button. There was like multi-select menus. It was not an easy device. And I feel like the average user who could use this could use a smartphone.
It's a very nice device, I will say. I mean, I think they need to improve on a little more to be worth that price tag, personally. But the cane part is Ambutech, so it's a great manufacturer of canes. So it's pretty nice.
It is pretty nice, but yeah, like I said, I just had that conversation at the booth because I was just curious, and those are kind of some of the main points I had with the founders of WeWalk and also some of the other conference attendees that we were all talking. So I was probably there for about 20, not even maybe 15 minutes.
I want to go ahead and move us on because this is just kind of a short update for the podcast.
Let's do an entire episode.
No, we're going to just do an update because we're going to have more podcasts coming out through the week. We also met with Glidance and they're creating the device called the Glide. And somebody described it on a podcast that I listened to as a vacuum cleaner. And it kind of reminds me of a vacuum cleaner. It really does. Taylor got a demo before I did, and we had a few snafus getting the demo, but we did get that today. And it's a very interesting device, I would say.
Interesting is a great way to put it.
I'm going to go first and describe it this time and say that my experience with the Glide is they had two prototypes there. They had a remote control by a tablet device, and they had one that they codenamed Shaky because the device shakes a lot. And boy, does it ever shake. And it's a very shaky device. And I think it would behoove them to do the shaky device first and then use the other demonstration with the controlled prototype, when they use with a tablet, as their first demo, because that's showing what they want it to do, not what it currently does now. The Glide is a very neat device. It has the ability to guide you around obstacles, and even what they want is to stop whenever you get to curbs and different impassable areas, which is really, what a guide dog is for in a lot of ways. And they want it to be able to find things for you. And if it could do the things that they want it to do, then that's a pretty spectacular device. I don't feel like the device, even on their prototype, is doing what they want it to do. In fact, I was walking with it and the device would just bring me off into so many strange angles. It's not there, and I don't think it'll be a year or two or maybe 3 before they get to where they're ready. I mean, they're taking pre-orders now. But what you're looking at right now, folks, is a glorified GoFundMe or, Kickstarter or something like that to get money to show interest for this thing. I think this is a step in the right direction to a robotic dog to kind of do a lot of the things that a guide dog can do, but I'm not sold on the current iteration, especially whenever it shakes and rattles and rolls and does all these things whenever it's trying to figure out what it should do based on just using the camera. So that's kind of my view on the Glide. Taylor, what was your experience with it? And just talk about the device and not really the demo from the view of their staff, because their staff, I think, were doing the best they can with the resources they had available.
Well, and I was going to talk about the device anyway, because like I said, Michael already touched on the demo. My demo actually had no issues getting it. It was pretty easy. But my experience, again, it tried to take me all across like weird angles and running around. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where I'm going. I felt like I was running around in a circle, and I just feel like the shaky device was shaky. Remember how I said about the WeWalk when it shakes for obstacles? This is what I'm talking about for the glide. It shakes when it, basically what I understand it to say is that if you're moving still, if you're standing still, rather, and the technology in the device can't figure out when you're standing still. So it will actually just shake unnecessarily because it doesn't know that you're actually not moving. That's what the staff told me. And, it's a great concept. But again, I wish it had a lot of features that I could actually use and not feel like I'm running into things. And, even the follow feature where I did that with a staff member, it really didn't follow him. It keeps saying tracking person, lost connection, or not lost connection, but it just wouldn't say anything. So, I don't know. I wouldn't trust it to follow Michael. That wouldn't work very well. That's just my view on that. And, like I said, it's a good device, but it definitely is just a prototype.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this segment of the iACast at the convention. We're going to throw this through some editing, post-production, and get this out to you all as soon as we can. This is Michael and Taylor for the iACast, and we will see you later on in the week for another round of reviews from the ACB convention. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the iACast. We hope you enjoyed the show and found the conversation to be insightful and informative. If you have any feedback or comments, we'd love to hear from you. Please send us an email at feedback@iacast.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at iACast Network to stay informed about new episodes and other updates. Don't forget to check out more great podcasts on the iACast Network, iacast.net. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.